What's going on, guys? So today I wanted to make an update on Tesla. Obviously, it was a great call on this channel. If you guys recall, 7 months ago, I made this video basically calling for the bottom of the Tesla stock, and that was my prediction that we would have a beautiful W pattern to the upside. That my first target was a reversal to the means on the monthly time frame between $290 and $300 per share. That was my first target, and then my second target was the second standard deviation, and we basically almost touched that level. So I mean, pretty good accuracy if you ask me. I'm pretty happy with this call. I had a lot of size, so it was a really good last month for me personally. So hopefully you guys also took advantage of that call. And so now in this video, I wanted to talk about what's next for Tesla, right? So where are we going? Because right now we are very high. We're no longer at levels where, it was a no-brainer to buy this bottom right here, because we knew that, based on probabilities, we would have minimum a nice bounce to the upside. And so this video is going to be basically my update for where Tesla should go in 2025. And I'm also going to talk about the small correction we just had in the broad market as well, because of Fed Chair Powell spooking the markets. And also just give you guys my honest thought about where we're going to mostly go for the broad market next year and into 2026. So first, I just wanted to start with the fear and greed index. Obviously is at 28. We're at fear right now. We were at extreme fear a day or two ago, if I'm not mistaken. So obviously this is the time that you want to take advantage and you want to buy the dip. In my humble opinion, this is a dip buying opportunity. And then I wanted to show you guys the smart money and dumb money flow. So at the moment, which is ironical, is that dumb money is capitulating. So dumb money is the red line right here, and they are selling like we were gonna enter a huge macro bear market right now. So they're basically selling all of their positions. They were accumulating throughout this entire period and now are basically capitulating. And if I'm not mistaken, the average retail portfolio this year for 2024 has not performed very well. If I recall some data I was looking at, I think the average is in the single digit return for 2024, which is horrible if you take in consideration that the S&P 500 is up 30% for this year. And now they are capitulating right before the Santa Claus rally. And then I just wanted to point out that the blue line, which is smart money, has now finally ticked back up. So they are slowly buying the dip. And as you guys can see, since the last months, smart money was not buying stocks. Actually, they were selling into this rally. And finally, if I put a trend line right here on the blue line, you can see that we have broken that downtrend of selling pressure and that smart money is now reaccumulating into the stock market. Okay, so before I continue with Tesla, I just wanted to give you guys my personal prediction for 2025 and 2026 before we enter next year, right? So congratulations to all of you guys. You should have made a lot of money. Like, there was so much money to be made just from Tesla and Bitcoin and Solana and all basically the stuff I was talking about on this channel. There's a reason why I keep it very simple and I constantly talk about the same things on repeat. Right here, guys, is my prediction. So 2025, okay, is going to be an up year. 2026 is going to be most likely a bear market. So for 2025, is it going to be a straight line to the upside and everything's going to be crazy? No, I don't think so. I think 2025 is going to be a very tricky year. I think that the broad market as a whole is going to be very choppy and we're basically going to have a slow grind to the upside. It's not going to be like the past 2 years where it was basically an arrow straight up. I think this year will still end up being positive at the end of the year, but we also need to keep in consideration that we just had 2 years back to back where the S&P 500 is up 30%, right? So obviously, I don't think based on probabilities that 2025 is going to be that same type of returns. So I am personally expecting 2025 to be choppy to the upside with single digit gains for the end of the year. And afterwards, I do believe we will enter a bear market in 2026 based on the presidential cycle that I like to trade. that is very lucrative as well if you want a time bigger picture for your long-term portfolios. Obviously, this is not financial advice. This is what I've done, which has been very successful. So hopefully it helps you guys navigate the markets a little bit better and just make better long-term swing trades and not lose most of your gains every time we have another bear market. So right now there's a lot of bears that are coming out of their basement saying that 2025 is going to be a big crash. I don't see that. I think that's actually going to happen in 2026, and I'm going to show you guys a couple of more data points that I look at that seem to be confirming my bias. So I wanted to share with you guys the forecast from Larry William, trade legend. This guy is like 80 years old or something like that. It is crazy. And he basically trades based on seasonal cycles. And this is the projection of his long-term cycle. And as you guys can see, the black line, that's the S&P 500, I think, or the DAW. Not too sure about that, but it's basically the broad market and where we are right now, right here. And the yellow line is basically where we're heading. So obviously 2022 was the bottom of his cycle, which ended up being pretty precise. And right now this cycle continues until 2025, exactly like my own personal prediction based on the presidential cycle, because the first year of any president being elected tends to be a bullish year, regardless if it's Democrat or Republican, or if you like the president or not. It doesn't matter. The first year is always up, and the year before that as well. So that's kind of why I'm still bullish, but I also don't think that it's going to be an all up market. I think the broad market will go slowly to the upside for that last year of this bull trend. I don't think that everything is going to be up, and I think that there's only going to be a few select horses that run like crazy in 2025, like Tesla, Bitcoin, and a few other names. And then as you guys can see into this model, we should then afterwards have a big correction into 2026, and afterwards it's going to be a beautiful buying opportunity to buy in 2027 into the next presidential election. Finishing this subject, I just also wanted to point out the global liquidity cycle as well, which is important to keep track on. Should top next year, not this year. So as you guys can see, we still have a long way to go before we have a top in the broad liquidity. This is why I'm still bullish for next year, even though there's a lot of fear and FUD right now going on, especially in the news. Be careful getting sucked in those narrative, because 2025, in my humble opinion, is still going to be a good year, but you're going to want to be very selective. It's not going to be, you could just throw a dart on a wall and it's going to go up. You're going to have to be more active and select the proper horses like Tesla, which we're going to talk about right after this. All right, so now let's dive in Tesla, guys, which is still my number one play. Obviously, Tesla has had a micro crash. Basically, we almost hit $490 per share, and now we're right back at 421 in that ballpark. So we basically erased the gains of the past week, which kind of sucks, but in the same time, it's completely normal. I'm going to show you guys why. And what's great about this is, yes, the price did go down by a lot. I think that's about 15% if I'm not mistaken. But the fundamental and the story and the future catalyst just keeps getting better for next year. So that's why, you have to have convictions when you invest. All right, so this is the technicals of Tesla. So obviously, if you bought when I told you to buy, you would have made so much money. It's ridiculous, honestly. I made so much in literally a month. It's crazy. I'm not selling. I know where it's going. It's going way higher than that. But full transparency, in unrealized gains, I lost almost $30,000 in literally 3 days because of this correction we just had, right? So this is completely normal. If you're panicking right now, it's probably because you don't understand Tesla and you don't understand where we're going. So hopefully this video helps you out. Really open your mind, okay? And I'm gonna be very blunt. Tesla is like a smartphone, guys, okay? It's like the iPhone. And right now what we're about to see is the BlackBerry story and the iPhone story. And yes, Tesla is the iPhone. It's the smart car. That's what people really don't understand. For the past 5 years, when someone was buying a Tesla, there was two reasons for that. One, it was a political bias, right? When Elon Musk was still a Democrat and some people were Democrat and they wanted to buy one to encourage whatever, right? Vote into their political bias. And then the second reason was for the environmental reason of buying an electric car. But this is what people don't understand. That's done. That's no longer why you're buying a Tesla. You are buying a Tesla because of full self-driving. This is like the BlackBerry and the iPhone story. It's literally that. In the next 4 to 5 years, everyone is going to want to buy a Tesla. Anyone with half an IQ level that needs to buy a new car will buy a Tesla, especially with the new Model Q that is coming, that will be the cheapest model ever done by Tesla with full self-driving. It's basically like buying a personal driver that's going to drive you around 24/7. For the first time in history, you and me, the plebs, the poor modern peasant, we're going to be able to buy, for the same price range that you could buy any other car, a car that will drive you around. Rich people pay $2,000 per day to have a chauffeur. So that's what I mean by we're going to enter a world of abundance slowly. This is stage one of a world of abundance where things that were only for the high class and for rich people now, because of technology, is going to be for you and me as well, right? So we're entering a different world. Like I said, the world is going to change overnight. It's just people don't get it. And Wall Street also doesn't get it, because Wall Street, when they look at Tesla, they still look at the total addressable market from a electric car perspective. Like, how many people per year are going to want to buy an electric car, right? That's not the story anymore. That's what they don't understand. People don't care about that anymore. It's about full self-driving, safety, right? People are tired. You don't always want to drive your car. When you're tired after the job, right? You put FSD and we're there. Tesla won, by the way. If you're not aware, I'm going to show you guys some video at the end of this video. I'm going to show you guys some stuff on Twitter. It's crazy. It's insane. Tesla won, guys. It's game over. People just haven't woken up yet. All these other auto manufacturers will never be able to compete. It's done. And then we're going to enter a bizarre world where, and this is what Wall Street doesn't understand, is that they think, oh, okay, well, in the next 4 to 5 years, the market share of people wanting to buy electric cars is going to go to 20%. No, it's not. Right? That's kind of like when Steve Jobs came on the podium with the iPhone in 2007, 2008, introduced the smartphone for the first time, and then you were sitting there saying that only 20% of the population of the consumer would go from a flip-flop to an iPhone. When it wasn't that, it was actually 80% of the population migrated from the flip-flop BlackBerry to the iPhone, right? So it's that type of change that we're going to see in the marketplace. So that has a lot of implication, because now all of a sudden, all these other auto manufacturers, no one is going to want to buy their new cars. So they're out of business. Obviously, people will still drive ICE cars and older cars for the next 10 years. They're still going to be on the road, but is there going to be future demand for the brand new ones? Absolutely not. Not if you don't have FSD. How can you compete with Tesla once they have their Model Q? And then the biggest piece of the puzzle, guys, is going to be generations. This is what Wall Street also doesn't understand. The richest generation is the baby boomers, guys. When you look at the US wealth by generation, they have approximately $76.2 trillion of net worth. They're going to be the biggest consumer of Tesla in the next 4 to 5 years. Every single boomer right now, they have a lot of money. They all have an ICE car, right? A normal gasoline car. But once they realize that, oh crap, full self-driving is done, it's actually there, guess who is going to be first in the line to buy a Tesla and to swap their old BlackBerry car basically for the new iPhone that's going to drive them around to bring them at the grocery? It's going to be the boomers, guys. Like, that is something that Wall Street is not understanding. The amount of demand that's going to come from all generations, especially the older ones, boomers and Gen X, is going to be insane. I mean, anyone in their right mind is going to want to have a car that drives them around. That's kind of like trying to debate that no one would want to buy an iPhone in 2008. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, good luck with that one. So that's kind of where we're going. All right, so now obviously on the short term, price correct. So we hit a third standard deviation of the price action. So obviously this is completely normal to see a reversal. On top of that, we had just insane speculation to the upside on Tesla. So as you guys can see, all these calls being bought on Tesla, insane strike price. I mean, 960 strike price. I mean, I do think we're gonna hit those levels pretty fast, to be quite honest with you. But on the short term, right, you need to understand we were also entering the 20 December, which was the third Friday of the month, right? And that's OPEX day. That's when options expire. So obviously market makers are not going to want to pay all that premium. So, you know, they're going to bring the stock back down to earth to not, you know, owe billions of dollars to investors. So that's kind of the little shenanigans that happen in the market. And that's fine, guys. You know what I mean? You just need to be aware of it. And that's kind of why you don't chase when we're at the third standard deviation of the price action. Right now, we are technically at a support at 414. I do think we're going to see a bounce short term. And it also coincides with the prior all-time high right here. So right now, where I think we are, if I zoom out a little bit, guys, and I use this analog from the last time Tesla basically did a 10x, because they were scaling the Model 3. I think right now we're here. We're in this ballpark right here, creating this big contraction pattern before we have a crazy leg to the upside into 2025. So basically we had, you know, this little contraction here, right? That was right here. Then we have a big push to the upside, which is what happened here. And now we're just consolidating, going sideways. So this is going to be the time to accumulate Tesla stock before it's too late. Quick reminder, if you're Canadian, hold on, I have a lot of stuff going on here, man. Holy shit. So if you're Canadian, guys, go check this YouTube video I made just for you guys. So it's the Tesla CDR Explained Canadian Deposit Receipt. So you can buy this in your TFSA account, tax-free saving account, or SP accounts. Not financial advice, but you know, if you do want to invest into the future for long-term investment purposes, and you're Canadian and you understand the company, I would highly recommend you go do your research on the Canadian Deposit Receipt product, because you're going to be able to buy the Tesla stock without losing 40% on the exchange rate if you were to buy the Tesla stock on the US stock exchange, right? Because our dollars is down the toilet, obviously, because of the horrible federal government we have. So definitely, you know, buy the Canadian Deposit Receipt if you are going to buy the Tesla stock if you're a Canadian. And you can go on the website of the CBOE. So you can just Google CBOE CDR on Google, and it's going to be right here on the NEO Exchange. You can click on this link and you're going to see all of the Canadian Deposit Receipt you can have access, and the ticker and how to buy those on your own broker if that's what you want to do. And so yeah, so basically this is my prediction for Tesla into 2025. I do think it's going to be one of those runners for next year that is going to be worth holding. I think most likely we're going to go in these levels right here. That is kind of my target for 2025. It's not going to be a straight line. There's going to be a lot of volatility, right? You've seen it. You know, this is completely normal. With Tesla, it's the personality of this stock. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys as well. You know, if you thought that Tesla had some competition for FSD, well, think again. That's way more right here, guys. I don't know how many more sensors they need on the car, but at this point, honestly, like I said, like it's game over. Tesla won. They won the FSD war, and it's just a matter of time. All right, and then I want to show you guys basically the new FSD, how good it is. Basically the car by itself, when there is an ambulance coming the other way, is now putting the car on the side itself. Look at this. This is crazy.
2 disengagements in a row.
Let's see. Oh,
It did it?
I think it's doing it.
Woo!
It's doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, what a clip.
Look at
Let's
that.
go.
Here, post
Bravo.
this one. Post this one, bro.
Bravo, Tesla AI team.
Woo!
Wow.
The
Wow.
First time ever, bro.
I've never seen that. Wow. Awesome. There's a really big dip here.
Uh-oh, that's not.
That's insane, guys. That's just crazy. Like I said, like it's done. Like the next 2 years, this is done. And there you go, guys. That's the Cyber Cab. There you have it, guys. So they're basically doing the test right now, and yeah, it's gonna be wild to watch, especially next year. All right, take care, guys. God bless you. I'm out of here. Hopefully this helps you for next year. I won't have to make another video for a couple of weeks now. I have other things to do, obviously, and there's a lot of money to be made in the market, so don't miss that up. It's gonna be a wild year next year. All right, take care. God bless you, and have a great Christmas and a happy New Year's. Thank you, guys. Bye.